Hey, what's up guys? How are you doing? Have you ever been looking at people getting mage blood in less than a week after league start and then wonder how are they doing that? To then go on YouTube and see this video titled How I made a mage blood in 2 days, how I made a mirror in a day, how I made 10 mirrors sucking on my big fat toe, but you never successfully replicated any of these strategy, then this video is for you. I will explain to you why you are failing, why you should not care about this clickbait video, and most importantly, how to create your own strategy and be profitable to make enough currency to do any build that you want. But first, I'd like to tell you why I'm making this video. Today I spent a day in POE trying to give birth to the idea I got the other day, and sadly without any great success. So I decided to jump on YouTube and look for inspiration from other people's idea. Well, the only thing I got proposed was this totally real and accurate video about how to make large amount of divination or per hours from big and small YouTuber alike. Most of them just straight out stealing strategy from other YouTuber and calling it their own without giving any credit. And I will show you guys, it's not 100% their fault, because even I am being steered toward making this clickbait video by YouTube. Look. And if I have to make clickbait video to grow on YouTube and make a good channel, well, I'd rather just stop YouTube now and move on to something else. So please show me that I'm right to hope for something better and subscribe to the channel if you learned anything from this video and want to see more, obviously. So, why would you possibly be failing? Reason number one is that your character can't run the strategy you are trying to run, meaning you are using all your portal and breaking the map or the boss or the invitation, losing the loot and the investment. This is the worst case scenario. If that is you, please keep watching the video and we'll get to what you need in a bit. The reason number two is that you are not efficient enough. To understand what I mean, let's take an example. Let's say you watch some amazing video telling you about a crazy good strategy, making 40 divination per hour. And during this 1 hour, the guy in the video doesn't need to roll any map, doesn't need to sell any loot. And he has a crazy multi-mirror build. And so it's 1 hour of pure blasting maps, with an average of 4 minutes per map. Now compared to you, who are rolling map, selling loot, and don't have a crazy build, you take an average of 6 minutes per map. Well, even if you do everything else perfectly, your expected divination per hour goes from 40 to 26, assuming the 40 is not BS in the first place. The reason number three is that you are not extracting maximum value from the map. Meaning maybe your filter is too strict, or maybe you are ignoring some unique you could val for corruption, or some league mechanic that could add value to the loot you extract from the map. And finally, the last reason, link back to the second one, you lose a giant amount of time trading and rolling map. If you are not on an hideout warrior strategy base, then you want to be spending the less amount of time in your hideout as possible, meaning using all the tools at your disposal to trade and prep your farming session as fast as possible. If you don't know what tool I'm talking about, I'll circle back to this later in the video. So why you should stop caring about making more currency? First, you're gonna compare yourself to others, and you will always get frustrated because there are things that you are not taking into account, such as, did you rush as league start? If not, then comparing yourself to someone that could spend the first 24 hours rushing the endgame and snowballing from there is not fair to yourself. Also, there is another topic that is more risky to talk about, but RMT is a thing. How many content creators do you think are using RMT, get ahead at league start and snowball from there? I won't drop any name obviously, but I'm sure there's more than one. So now, if you compare yourself with your favorite streamer that got a head start and is grinding ahead of the economy while trying to emulate him, well, you're fucked. Because now you are grinding for a 200 div mage blood when he bought it for 100. And while you take the time to make the extra 100 div, the other key item that you are gonna need to emulate him are all increasing in value too. And you are now caught in this vicious loop where the more you grind, the more you need to grind. So you look into new strategies, just like thousands of other people. And when a new video pops off, you jump on it like crack, only to find out that when thousands of people do the same strategies, the cost of running it goes up, and the value of the item you extract from it goes down, making the profit much lower. And if on top of all of that, the strategy has a huge variance in payout, just like containment strongboxes, and you run out of investment before hitting a jackpot that would pay out, then you are now losing money instead of making any. So if you want to go back to having fun playing the game and enjoy your journey through the league, stop comparing yourself, stop trying to emulate your favorite streamer, just have fun. And to help you do that, I'm now going to explain to the best of my capability how to generate profitable strategy for the content that you like the most. So now we are getting into making your own strategy. And first, we need to check out all the tools that we need to get there. And the first one is the Forbidden Trove Discord called the TFT. So how do you get there? All you have to do is type TFT Discord in Google and you get the second link. For me, it is this second link. The Forbidden Trove. And when you click on it, you're going to get an invitation. And check the number of people to make sure you didn't click on the wrong one. But that's what it looks like. And then you accept the invitation and you're in. So now that you are in the Discord, TFT is going to ask you a lot of stuff and ask you to link your POE account with your Discord account. And you might be thinking that this is too much and this is a hassle and you don't need this to play the game. But joining this community is the most important thing you have to do. That's why I'm starting with this, because you really, really want to use it. There is a reason why there's almost 700,000 people in this community. It is the best. This is the only way to progress in your journey in PoE. So do everything that TFT is asking you in order for you to access to all the channel. And when you link your account, the idea is that it's going to protect everybody against scams. So the way it works is you go down to the TFT hub section and go into the service ladder, and you can just check an account, any account you want to trade with. If trust is involved in the transaction, you can check the account to see if the dude is trustworthy. So for example, if I check myself, we're gonna see that I am not a newcomer, and my account age is the age of my PoE account, and for how long I've been a member of the TFT community. And then the rest is how many people have trusted me for services that gave me high valued item or gave me currency in advance for services that I will render later. So if trust is involved in a transaction, that's when you get the vouchers. And if someone doesn't vouch for you, then you can ask him. And if he still doesn't vouch, you can ask TFT. But that's something else. Like if you're rushing to get roles on TFT to look more trustworthy, like these two, it's something else. You don't have to. Using an old account is already good enough. Now, if you have a new account and you just join PoE TFT, this is gonna be hard for you to get trusted very fast. So it's gonna maybe take times. Do some services. Maybe I'll make a video later to explain how to get trusted on TFT when you're a new player. So move on to the next tool. The most important tool after TFT, I think, is pathofexile. This website, because it's gonna help you create your regex for your map. And the idea is that you're gonna be able to filter map mode, and then it's gonna make crafting map very easy and very simple. I will do a demonstration later, but for now, just know that you use this regex to filter out and select the map that you need from a bunch of maps. But it's not limited to that. You can also use regex for expedition, for rogue crafting, or for Gwenen, and you also use it on bestiary. It's very good. There's a very it's time saving. It's a very important tool for time saving. So I will come back to this later, but just remember pass of regex, put it in your favorites because you're gonna be using it a lot. So the next very important tool is the PoE planner. Not so much for the passive tree, because POE already does a very good job in that regard, but the Atlas tree. This is, I think, the best one I found, because all the other ones are hidden either behind account creation, or they are laggy, or when you click, you have to click every skill point one by one, which is absolutely torture instead of helping. But this one doesn't lag, doesn't need a subscription, and then you can click anywhere, and it's gonna calculate the shorter distance to get there based on your tree. And it's like tree and like, yeah, this is the one I'm using, and I advise you guys to use it too. So we'll come back to this later when we learn how to make our own tree. And one more tool, it's Filter Blade. It's a website that helps you make your own loot filter. So if you have never done it, you should get into it. It's not that hard to get into. You can easily create a new filter based on the one Neverthink's offered. So you have different level of strictness, and based on that, you can customize it. Also, you can look at someone else if they made them public. So, for example, you would go there and enter a profile, let's say me, and you put it in, and it's gonna load the load filter that's being used by the profile you typed in. Be advised though that I am using custom sound, and without the custom sound, the load filter won't work. So mine are not really usable, but other people are. And relatively speaking, it's better to create your own, really. You need to take the time to get into this because it's not that hard. The customization list is pretty straightforward. Every section of it is pretty clear. It just takes time for the first time to get through it, and then you make your own load filter. And once that is done, you can make a stricter version, and so on and so on. And now Filter Blade has an update or self-update feature. So when a new league starts, you just load any load filter that you have, and it's gonna pop up and says there was 10 updated feature in your filter, and this filter have been deactivated. So it's updating and getting your filter ready for the next league very easily. So once you've done it, you pretty much have nothing major to change. It's gonna be a matter of a particular item that you want to display or hide, depending on what you do. For example, the blueprint. Like I have hidden all the blueprint, but let's say I wanted to farm heist and like the deception contract, I would just go back and show me all the contracts again. And then I save, I export, I save, it's linked to my POE account. I don't have to do anything, I just go back in game and I just select the loot filter and that's it, I'm ready to go. And the last tool I wanted to talk about is POE Ninja. This is a website that used to be very important because it references all the prices of all the currency, all the crafting material, all the unique item. Everything is in there if it's not magic, rare, or normal item. It's on there and it's references. The prices that you see though are from POE Trade, and the trade site is a different marketplace than Faustus in game, which means the value of certain item might be different. So the utility of POE Ninja is to create a hideout warrior strategy when you look at some items that can be bought for cheap and sold for more. On Faustus, for example. So it took me 2 minutes to find out that Voidbone Reliquary are selling for 2 div on the trade site, but on Faustus they are selling for 225 to 230. Looks like 230 is the biggest level. So that means basically it's a 0.3, 0.2, let's say, div per trade. So you buy 10, 20 div worth of Voidborn Reliquary on PoE Trade, and you sell them for 22. Boom, you made 22 div. sell them for 23 if you want to wait, I don't know, a day for it to sell and make one more div. So there, that's about it. That's why POE Ninja is still an important tool. So now that we have all our tool, we are getting ready to start making our strategy. But what do we farm? What scarab do we use? How do we make our tree? How do we make money? What do we sell? Well, I'm gonna answer all these questions, guys. So let's just take it step by step. And the first step is how to identify your profit. To do that, we first need to understand that there is 3 different groups of profit, and this is the big group. So the first one is the general value group, I would say, and it group everything that drops everywhere, no matter what you do. I'm talking about maps, scarabs, divination cards, bubble currency, high value currency. This is all the general loot pool. Okay. The second group is the gold. The gold is there and it can be transformed into actual value, either with crop, by sending the crops with your ship, having your mappers run some high-valued map, and you can also play foccus, so meaning you just put buy order and sell order on some item with a big spread, which is the difference between the two, and then when people want to buy the market, they pay you the spread, basically. So you just pocket the difference all the time. It requires a lot of gold, but it is also very profitable. So that is one way of using your gold to actualize profit. And the last group is the exclusive group. So if you are running a specific strategy, what is the exclusive loot you're going to get from it? Meaning, for example, if you run Harvest, well, it's going to be the Life Force. If you run Essences, that's going to be the Essences. If you run Alva, that's going to be the Temple. So everything that is exclusive is going to be in that group. And now that we have the 3 group, we can go on TFT and look for value somewhere. And to do that, we are gonna go down until we see our channel, which are POE 1, Mercenary, Bulk 1 to sell. And now that we are in this channel, we are gonna look for value. How do we do that? There is 3 different points that I use to identify potential in a channel to make money. The first one I look at is the timestamp between all the posts, because it's a marker of your competition. How heavy is your competition? That's the first one. The second one I'm looking at is the value of the item. So for example here, we can see that most of the map are valued 10C with a regex, and people have crazy stock. Then the last thing I'm looking out for, and I cannot find any here. That's it. People crossing over their offers. So if I see multiple posts of the same thing being crossed over, I will take a notice, because it means that people are getting spammed for it. But as you can see here, it's not the case. It's just that he has his message prepped with different map that he's running, and right now he's not running City Square and Jungle Valley, and all he has is Dune and Underground Sea. That's why he's doing his post like this, and the cross has nothing to do with him getting spammed. So there's so much offer that I don't think people are getting spammed enough for reacting like that. But on some channel, you will see a lot of people crossing over. For example, in Expedition, you can see people crossing over all their offer. And sometimes we're just writing sold in caps like this, because they're getting spammed and they want it to stop. So they go back on TFT and they make sure that people know that their offer is gone. Okay, so that's the third marker, and this marks an imbalance between people wanting to sell and people wanting to buy. When there's so much more people wanting to buy, then the price is gonna go up. It's a capitalist market. I'm just thinking that people here haven't realized that yet, and this is value. For me, this is what I would call value and an opportunity. So this is what I have identified. So you can do this for every different channel, and using these 3 rules, find out which strategy could be working. So I have identified Expedition, and now I'm gonna move on to the next step. And so the second step is making the tree. So how do you make the tree? First, you have to understand how strong is your build. And that's something I cannot teach you. This is something that you have to understand through experience. You need to play the game and fight harder and harder content and understand the weakness of your build and how to patch it and that where you know what I mean. This is experience. This is game progression experience-wise. But what I can tell you is how to use the tree based on what mechanic you want to play. So, for example, if you are running stuff like betrayal, incursion, bestiary, this is mechanics that doesn't require any quantity or pack size. You can run white map and they will still give you value. You will still be able to extract value. You don't need to run 8 mods. So these are the strategy that require the less strong build, right? Now, every other strategy is the strategy based on the loot. And to maximize your loot, you need to increase the quantity of item dropped in your map and the pack size. And to do that, you're gonna first run some big ass map, 8 mods, tier 17, 16.5, with exalted until you get 6 mods. And then you're gonna take all the effects. So all these small nodes that says increase effect of explicit in your map. All these nodes are what's gonna make the map harder, but also more rewarding. And you also get in the middle of the tree all this quantity. So this is kind of the maximum you can do in order to get more loot from your map. So this all the point that you can get. That's it. This is all taking all the effects in your map, in your tree, sorry. And based on how strong your build is, you're gonna remove some of these. If it's too hard and you're dying, then you're gonna start removing some of these, right? You see what I mean? So this is like a difficulty level. If you take all of them, it's maximum difficulty. If you take half of them, it's medium. If you take none of them, it's easy. And this is the first step into making the tree, understanding the how strong your build is and how reliant it is on loot quantity. Now, to go back to my example, I identified expedition. So now I'm gonna make a tree based on the expedition wheel that I found useful. So what I would do is just zoom into one of them, look at what they do, and look at the yellow circle that tells me where are my next wheel of expedition. And look at the next one, see what it does, go into the next one, look what it does, and then see if any of it can match my strategy. So I wanted to farm logbook because I've seen that not many people are offering bulk of logbook, and I want to do it. I want to do it and try to increase the value, the prices, and see if people are still buying, and see how it goes from there. So that's the idea, and now we're gonna put it in practice. And fast forward a little bit, and that was my tree looks like now. I have taken every expedition node that I think will increase directly or indirectly the amount of logbook I will get in my map. And the next step is now to choose which altar I am going to run. So I can either go for blue altar if I can sustain the downside of it and try my luck with the divine altar, or I can go for the red altar if I can pick every altar because the downside is much easier to deal with. So in my case, I will run the blue altar because I feel lucky and I feel like I'm gonna get a divine altar. This is my time, this is my turn, I will get it. Don't say I won't believe you. And that's about it. I have chosen my altar. If I had to pick the red one, that would be about the same thing on the other side, right? Go for the red altar. So now that you have chosen which altar you want to run, you have a lot of leftover points. Depending on what mechanic you're going to pick, you're going to have more or less of the point left. And Now I want to choose what I'm going to do with them. And the choices is maybe I can run some strategy that is another exclusive strategy. Maybe Harvest would be a good choice. Well, based on experience, I know that the scarabs from Harvest have absolutely no benefit to the scarab of Expedition. Even if I were to use miscellaneous scarabs to boost Expedition, they won't probably boost also Harvest. So you have to choose some scarabs that are matching well together if you are going to exclusive strategy. And right now, I don't have any example of it. What I can tell you is that scarab slots are very important and you should not be splitting them toward different goals. Maximizing one goal is the best outcome, I think. What you can do is look at other strategy that are exclusive, that will reward you value, and you can guarantee on the tree without using the map device or the scarabs. And most likely, these are master mission strategy mechanics. So betrayal, bestiary, incursion. So this Alva, June, Reinhardt, and I forget the last one, Nico. Although Nico is, you put Nico in parentheses, right? He's there, but he's more like a decoration, right? It's there to, you know, you need a round number. 4 is better than 3, right? So, from my side of the tree, betrayal is right next to it. So maybe I have point to put in there. Let's see if I have enough points. Fast forward again, and that's what it is, with all the betrayal node taken. Forgot this, and there it is. Every point I need for betrayal have been taken, and now I can move on to cleaning up the rest of the point. So what you're gonna do now is you don't have enough points to max out another exclusive strategy. So what you wanna do is max out the general loot. And really in the tree you have access to only realistically two vector of increase. It's either map or scarabs. And with the amount of points that we have left, I think we have enough to get something going on scarabs. So I would click on scarabs and go into order of priority, which is, this is the first big priority, this is the second one, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. And then the last 4 points is just gonna be more scarabs in my map. So I will take the 4% traveling node. So there's 2 here and then 2 more here, and that's it. I have a little bit of increase in scarab drop. I have maxed out my expedition. I have another exclusive avenue of profit with betrayal that can sometimes get me a lot of money. And all that is left now that I have clicked everywhere and taken everything is looked if I can increase my tree. I mean, improve my tree, my pathing. Did I waste point going places in the tree? So first here, we have 3 points to connect. This is the same as these 3 points, so there's nothing to do here. The traveling node here and there would not be working any other way, so this is the most efficient one. At the top, we want the effect modifier, so we are good. And here we have 1 point that is, that's it. So we have 1 point that we can replace somewhere else. And guess what it is? It's gonna be scarabs, because we were increasing scarabs earlier. So that's what it would look like. That would be my my first draft of the tree, and it's a tree that's probably gonna make me money. I mean, I've done all the work. I've looked for the value. I have made a tree that's increased as much as possible the value from the mechanic that I want. I have added another exclusive mechanic that doesn't will not suck some scarab slot from my main strategy. And then I have also maximized the general value I could get from the rest of the Atlas tree. So I've done everything I can, And now I need to move on to the next step, which is choosing the scarabs. So how do I choose my scarab? Well, basically, you don't have a lot of different choices. Mostly, the only scarab that's gonna have an impact on your strategy are the scarabs made for your strategy. So in my case, it's expedition. And now I have to choose if some of them are useless or not. So I look at the first one and I see that it's gonna put expedition on my map device, on my map, and it basically I have a choice between running it on the map device or using this scarab. I think I don't need to run any other map device option, so this scarab will be useless, and so I won't be using it. This one gives me a 100% increased number of unique monster marker, which is more monster, more rare. Very good. I can put 2 of them, and 2 of them it is. The next one is a 50% increase in number of explosive. So that can and 80% increase in explosive radius, which means I'm gonna have so much explosive. So I want to see if I need all these explosive. So I'm gonna put it in and see what's up. Then the last one is the carb that's gonna give the most impact. It's gonna add 2 additional suffix and prefixes. So remember, suffixes is upside, but prefixes is downside. So that's gonna make the expedition much harder, but I think I can handle it. So that's gonna be going in. And for the last spot, I have a choice about choosing between all the different on scarab. So I'm missing Awakening and the one that doesn't consume scarabs. So on scarab wise, Nemesis is a potential useful one. Bloodline could also be a potential useful one. Glittering, probably not. And Pandemonium, definitely not. And Tradition, also not. So I have 2 potential here. The one that I have chosen is also another candidate. Then what do we have? Additional pack size doesn't work on Expedition. The Scarab of Divinity also doesn't work on Expedition. It's only work with the monsters that are already in a map when you open. The Entered Traitor obviously doesn't work for it. Stability could work if I die a lot. So for the moment, I don't know if I'm gonna need this. The Scarab of Wheels also could be a potential, but it's also a big increase in difficulty. The Resplendent Tempest is also a possibility, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it because it's gonna move out of Expedition pretty fast. And then the Scarab of Bisection, I don't think it's gonna be useful at all for this. So this is my 5 candidates for the last prefix spot. And if I were to replace any other, I would pick from this. And that's what you need to do with all your strategy. So for example, when I started doing Abyss, I put everything and then I decided to cut this. What that was bad. And then I decided to cut also this because they don't add anything to the Horde. So I just get additional Abyss and the Horde with the Edifice cap. And that's the strategy I gave you back at the start of the league. So then I had 2 more spots left, and all the increase that we have here have absolutely no impact on the Horde. So what I did was increase the general loot pool with some conversion scarab, give me a lot of Guardian map, and escalation to get more maps in general. So these 2 were added in the place of this multitude and then profound. So that's how it is. And for the moment, for the first try, I'm gonna run these 4 scabs, and the winning candidate is the monstrous lineage because I don't know how difficult that's gonna be, and I don't want to make it extra difficult by using some of these. So that's the state, and that's how I chose my scarabs. And you should go through a similar process by choosing which scarab to run, doing some trial, and see which scarab need to go and which scarab can stay, and you evolve your strategy by trial and error, basically. So now for step 4, which is improving your strategy. And I've done my first run and gotten this. This is the most notifiable loot I got from the map. Every map, small scarabs, bubble currency has been put into the chest, right? And the one that you want to take notice of are these. And so the divines can just be put aside because a lucky divine, maybe. We don't know. We're going to have to see by running more. But it's very engaging, right? Then we're gonna look at this because our target was logbook, and instead of getting a lot of logbook, what we got was a lot of refresh currency. So we need to do something that's taking advantage of these burial medallion, or rather refresh currency. And so it turns out that the awakening scabs is giving 25% chance for the refresh currency to drop as a logbook. And it also happened that the burial medallion has the lowest drop rate of every refresh currency, the highest being astragallis. So what we do is just change the tree a little bit by speaking 1 point of scarabs and putting it into Gwenin, because we want to see more Gwenin. Why? Because astragallis drop like a lot of them, and so we want to convert them into logbook. Now the price of awakening is pretty high, but it's worth a try. So for step 4, you keep on trying stuff until you find a good setup that's making you money every time. So now that you have run your strategy a little bit, you should have the result of the first few maps that you've tried, and then you can compare the loot that you are targeting, the value that you have extracted against the cost of entering the map and playing the strategy. So in my case, it's definitely not worth running Awakening. The price of the scarabs is way too expensive, so I just backtrack, go back to the previous setup of scarab, and then improve on it. So, for example, I replaced one of the explosive scarabs with another monstrous lineage, which will give me a lot more of this runic magic pack, which are already pretty big. And so this is my go-to setup for the for the expedition. I think this is what costs the less and will get me the most return on investment. So now that I have figured out what are the best scarabs for me, I will go through step 5, which is my checklist. So we have a very long checklist to go through, guys. First box is, are you making money? It doesn't matter how much money you are making. I mean, if you're making a 1 chaos profit per map, maybe it's not enough, but it generally don't matter, right? The currency will come if you are profitable, they will come, and then the lucky drops will carry you, and you will get enough money no matter what to improve on your build. And that's the whole reason to do it in the first place. So probably you won't be making 20, 30 mirror in the league, but that's okay. That's not the goal of the league. That's not the goal of the game. It's not called Pass of Mirror of Calandra, where you have to grow the biggest dick of all and have the most mirror of the league. This is not the goal of the game. So don't care too much about how much money you are making, and just make sure you are getting something out of your mapping, and that is enough to improve your build on the long run. The second box is, are you having fun? Because if you're not having fun, then what's the point? If you are seeing this as a job and forcing yourself to do it, then you're better off getting a real job and getting real money out of it. So I think a lot of people have forgotten about having fun, and are just trying to compete to see who's gonna make the most money. And I think that's just kind of sad. So I hope that you remember to have fun, and that's the whole point of this video. So that's it for the checklist. There are actually just two boxes to check. Are you making money and are you having fun? If you have checked both boxes, then run the strategy. There's no reason not to. Even if you're not making 20 mirror per hour, it's still gonna be fun for you, and it's still gonna be improving your character. And that's the whole point of playing a league of ARPG. You wanna improve your character on the long run and have fun doing it. And that's it for the checklist, guys. There's nothing else on it. So if you learned anything with this video, if I helped you in any regard, please just drop me a subscribe or a follow, whatever. I would love this. Help me grow my channel a little bit. That'd be really fucking awesome. Also, if I manage to convince at least one of you guys to go into this path of discovery and creation, where you try to create your own strategy and make it work, I would absolutely love it if you shared that with us. That would be very great. So if you make anything, just share it with us. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be the best. Just show us what you came up with and then put it in the comment section, and maybe we can have a chat about it. See how you came up with it. What was the different step you took? That would be, yeah, that would be fucking amazing. So I hope at least one of you guys get to do it, and if you do, props to you. Big up to you. On that final note, I will wish you guys an amazing league, rest of the league maybe, and I'll see you in the next video.